as we return to the Rift. Lyric, it's one apiece. We don't have that 3-0. I'm so glad. Jackie Love back on Aphelios, Loken back on the Misfortune, and we won't look bot. As we have some quick gyros that time here in the grand final, we go into a game 3. Jace top versus the Renekton. Corki and Azir, I know chat, simmer down. But here in the spring finals, we're at an even point, and someone needs to break the deadlock to move to match point.
JDG actually going to use their level 1 Yuumi to maybe get some deep vision. I was actually scared because we've seen top esports before draft things like Jason Kennan and then split the map for bot side and say, hey, 369, have fun in this matchup.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, that's not what we want to see from top esports this game.
And we've seen 369 come into team fights where he has been put in bad situations and he has limited impact. I love that you bring up the Kennan. I've been looking for that in this series. But 369 so far, even though he's not been on the Kennan, he has had a pretty good series. He's had a great start in game 1, a really good game number 2 on the Aatrox. Now he's sampling on the Jace here with the phase rush in the top lane. And he's got a Predator Gragas alongside.
Yeah, and he's up against a press the attack Renekton, so I'm expecting to see a lot of action in this top side. Of course, Renekton should lose out the first 3 levels, but then especially if Kanavi can get up there and Renekton can get on top of the Jace, they should be able to come out ahead in that early 2v2.
It's been a while since we've seen a press the attack Renekton. Normally the Conquerors we see in the LPL. I also want to note that it is lethal tempo Corki. Now, over in the LCK when we watched the finals, when we went through and we saw the Corkis there, it was fleet footwork. Here in the LPL, we've been doing a lot of lethal tempo.
Lethal tempo on that Corki, especially to go that Mura mana build and be a lot more about getting in these trades with the auto attacks.
Sure.
And again, just going back up towards the top lane, because you said we don't really see press the attack Renekton, right? It is a lot better in early trades. You don't have to stack it up 10 times like that Conqueror. It's just very easy to get that damage in early. Sets up for your jungle as well, because after you do get those 3 hits, there's a short amount of time where your allies do more damage to that person as well. So again, top side action, name of the game.
As we look towards the top side, you can also see that Kanavi is starting up towards this top lane here, with position available to hit on 369, while Kasa is down towards the bottom side with the pushing bottom lane.
Yeah, and pretty interesting to see that Kanavi is just going to go for a full clear. Not a full clear because he did start as red, but heading back down towards the bottom lane.
Actually, a Raptor start here from Kasa as well. Picking up the blue buff now, that'll get him level 3. But Lyric, while we do have our slow jungle clear coming through, I just want to reiterate, as we talked about win conditions going into this game, and you talk heavily about the early jungle influence towards top side. But I'm looking across the board and I'm like, okay, scaling is a word that comes into mind. But it seems like there's a lot more to it than that.
Well, and when it comes to scaling this game, again, we look at the other side, and of course there's a Trundle, there's an Azir, there's a Yuumi. But again, for the side of JDG, you have no way of getting on top of TES.
Yeah.
So when it comes to this late game, I feel great as top esports. You have Karso with the Gragas can disengage with both his E and the cast. Of course, Braum, his whole kit is all about peeling and disengage. So Knight especially should have a ton of room to deal his damage. And that's the person you want to entrust the damage to, right? You want Knight to be the big carry on your team.
Yeah, absolutely. Because you know he's capable. You know that Knight has been in dangerous positions before. Rather, should I say, in accelerated positions. And he's the person that Top Esports is all about. As Kanavi pokes his head around to Kasa, but Scuttle Crab is already going to be secured, while Kanavi's going for the invade. Kasa has not taken his red buff just yet. They're splitting the map, but towards the same side.
That's actually really confusing. Of course, 369 can just follow up so easily.
He knows.
Of course he knows.
Okay, Spite's going to come through. The body bop on top of Kanavi. Knight's getting poked out. Meanwhile, though, the mid laner's in the 1v1. It's going to be winning out by Yagao, but 369 comes in to help Kanavi in a 1v2 until Zoom comes in behind. Kasa getting low on top. They spin to win, and Zoom picks up first blood here of Game 3 while Knight comes in epically low. The flash forward is not the way to go. And JDG start us off here with their first blood Renekton.
I'm just saying that was an absolute LPL play where Kanavi splits the map. And hey, we've already set up JDG's top 2v2 wins, but Zoom was under his tower. But again, here in the LPL, we don't care about waves. We don't care about wave states and things like this. Zoom follows anyway. They come out ahead in the 2v2. And JDG now having the better early game.
And to reiterate your point, if you look at JDG and you talked about, how difficult it is to find the engage. You don't need to engage if you're ahead, right? You said that in game 2. You find that early lead and you're able to accelerate, then for JDG, this gets a whole lot easier.
Yeah, and again, didn't really need to engage when he just ran right past Carson and said, hey man, I'll see you in your jungle in like 2 minutes, meet me there.
And he predators towards him. That was a nice interaction.
I just want to know what was going through Carson's mind, like, this is so free.
Maybe he thought, oh, he's going to back, it's okay. He's going to play the bluff. It's like a hand of poker here. Carson going to be spotted out on the top side. Ward, meanwhile, though, but you look after that trade, after that first blood goes across, all the deep vision that was secured. Now Carson's being tracked up towards the Raptors where he started.
Yeah, and talking about this, we actually see in the mid lane that Yagao has pushed, so Carson gonna feel constant threat coming out from Kanavi's Trundle. And again, this isn't a matchup we need to go into too much depth about. We see it all the time, but Azir will have push on Corki in these early levels, and there's Kanavi going for these invades.
I mean, the jungle 1 versus 1. Peekaboo yet again. Carson gonna get the smite on down here on the big wolf, but he's getting low. Remember, press the attack. Trundle likes to take a big chop. In comes Yagao, but it's Kanavi. Secures the second blood.
And Kanavi having so much confidence. His bot lane just reset. He doesn't care. He knows Yagao's going to follow up.
This is not the only trade. Dominus going to come through. 369 is only level 5 here. He's weak. His arms are like spaghetti. And Zoom the Croc almost gets a solo kill, but he forces away 369, who now has no flash.
And Renekton against Jace, even if 369 had been level 6, it doesn't matter. You don't really have an ultimate. Renekton does. He gets on top of you and forcing that 1v1. This is why we've sung Zoom so many praises this split. And again, top Esports in the first 2 games, early game, were just a hands-down better team. When you think about TS as an individuals, you'd even just think they're better. So nice to see JDG bouncing back this game and having a much stronger early game.
Yeah, very important for the momentum of this series here. Let's note where the kills go, though, as we go towards the 7-minute mark. Zoom got first blood, Kanavi with the second. And this Trundle is, okay, I'm going to pause again. Graviton bottom lane, Lumel gets healed on up. One auto, but Chucky Love gets flushed on by big boy Loken. Chocho now left in a 1 versus 2, and Lumel may be a Yumi, but a bit of excess damage and healing going to be coming through. And JDG's bottom lane also winning out.
Hysterics, there are not supposed to be 2v2 kills in a Misfortune Yumi against Aphelios Braum lane. Looked like TS were the aggressors, but JDG coming out on top, and now we've seen both bottom lanes solo kill each other. And yeah, TS are the ones to go in on this. Great job by Lumao just blocking up all that damage, is able to get the heal off and then survive, and left JackeyLove in such a bad position. And guess what? Loken was untouched that whole time.
He was full health, ran forward and said yoink. Another kill going over. And you mentioned it just before. I mean, JDG with an early start this game. This is really accelerating. And now all 3 lanes feel pretty comfortable here after the start that was.
And I love this because we said, okay, top esports composition in the late game, just it makes a lot more sense, does well into what JDG have drafted. But guess what? You don't need, exactly, if you can just snowball the early game, just consistently use your pressures across the map, build up this 5-6K gold lead, doesn't matter, right? You're going to be able to force the objectives. TS are going to have to come into you. You're going to be able to get the Heralds, get the Baron, and try to force these pushes. I'm going to slow down, though, because this game's not over for TS. Again, they outscale. They will have a period where they're much stronger. We haven't even seen the Manamune come out from that yet.
But it feels like we're now finally able to talk up the praises of JDG through this early game. A much cleaner scenario. Rift Herald this time going to be going over to JDG, while Casa will take the trade towards the Ocean Dragon to start us off.
Which, if you're TS, you do feel fine with this situation. You're going to get the Dragon, you're going to start making your way towards that soul. And again, you feel fine with the way the game is panning out as TS. Sure, you would have preferred something differently. Carson does not want to be 0-2-0. You would have liked to give 369 more attention in the top lane.
Yeah, I guess that comes back to our other point, doesn't it? Where 369 is not in a favorable position, and then this happens. Turret getting set up for Rift Herald top.
Every time,
going forward, Yagao doesn't have enough mana to send the wall out, but Lumao now jumping between targets. As you can see the turret trade here. Top Esports not going to get first turret in the bottom side, but they are giving gold over to JackeyLove and Chocho to put them back in a favorable position, while first turret for JDG top side, with Rift Herald having a happy time.
So JDG being able to pick that one up, still a lot of plate gold going on to JackeyLove's Aphelios, but sad to say, every time I've seen 369 end up on, again, the Jaces, the Kennons, he's always left to his own devices. Something happens early where he's not allowed to have a good time in this matchup. feeling a bit like the Shy did the other day.
Yeah, but not playing like the Shy, which is the important part. That's why we came back to the top lane discussion, and what we mentioned was 369 and Zoom kind of battling out a little bit. I know you feel like Zoom is, you know, kind of the best top laner in the LPL right now, which a lot of people will agree with. But 369 is a really sharp contender now that the Shy has fallen down.
The fact that 369 wasn't second on our All-Pro team, I think was very unfair to him. We did see it go over to Gimgoon, and 369 had such a good split. If you don't want to put Zoom on it because he didn't play all the games, that's fair. But 369 was up there with people like Zoom having an amazing split in the top lane.
This is only his third split. He started last year in 2019. Yeah. That was his rookie year playing with Knight, and he grew into this roster as a very big core identity. As now, Zoom is going to be spotting his head up towards Casa. It's 2v1 in the top lane, but Zoom has control. While we are talking about these top laners, Zoom on the other side, you know, he joined when Yagao joined over in 2018. And he came towards this JDG roster full of hope and ambition. This is the second sprint in a row that he's been in a final, so those ambitions are pretty much getting achieved.
Yeah, but we see a lot happening on the screen right now with this top lane matchup, and for anyone who doesn't know, LPL Renekton's are allergic to Blade of the Rune King. We almost never see them pick it up here. Zoom is going for this Tiamat into the Black Cleaver. When you pick up something like the Tiamat, it signals a lot more of that you do just want to clear out that wave and hover for your mid lane, hover for Herald, Dragon, etc., etc. So I like that, and I want to see Kanavi player on the bot lane. You are going to have consistent push and poke coming out from the Yuumi and just set up for either contesting things like camps, which JDG do so well, contesting blue buff, or even just trying to zone TS off their bot lane turret.
And doing that now with a bit of the teleport play from Yagao. Knight sitting in mid-wave while that happens. Kanavi roaming around with the Yuumi. You are right, there is a lot happening on the map. I just want to come back to a quick point that when we talk about builds in the LPL, it is kind of incestuous in a way. The builds stay within the LPL, right? If one player thinks it's good, usually they go by that. As Cast is going to get caught out, flashes away. The explosive cast doesn't work as Lost Chapter locks him down. Remember, PTA Trundle does a bit of damage. As through with the subjugate, Casa has to back away. Now Zoom looking for something in the top side, but 369 going to be backing away with a big old question mark.
Yeah, just going to walk away, but still in that bot side skirmish, we saw the fact that both Kanavi and Karsa blew Flash, but Lumao blew all of his summoners as well. Still overall a pressure win for JDG, but weren't able to really capitalize off of that.
So we get to a point where we're, okay, resetting back into the waves. Turret plating available for 1:30. Dragon's going to be up in about 1:20 as well. So I'm going to ask you, there's no contest from a side like Top Esports at this point for this next Dragon.
You don't need to, right? There's no reason for you to contest for this Drake. You can just keep letting Corki get items. Even this mana immune spike isn't really a spike until you do get that full-on Mira mana. Sure. So, again, play the slow game. You already got the first Drake.
Zoom doesn't want to play a slow game at all, though. He's going to get help from Cast, but Zoom is quite large. And in charge, maybe. Predator going to come through with a body bop as well. The damage going through, flushing away. Knight now joining the play with Yagao coming in. That's a lethal tempo Azir, remember? So can only poke them for now. And Zoom does manage to escape with his life.
At first, I thought Zoom was absolutely crazy, thinking, hey, man, your mid laner doesn't have TP.
Walk on the wall,
the other mid laner and the enemy AD carry both have teleport. What are you doing? But Yagao hovering up, making it so Zoom is able to get away. You traded a flash for a teleport, though. Not very worth.
Okay. Well, Zoom got a bit of time to kill before that comes back up and available. Is now heading towards the mid lane, closer towards this Dragon. Has the teleport, but opts to be near it and clear out the mid wave with the rest of Top Esports now positioning there as well.
Yeah, and we see Yagao has no mana. Yagao needs to back. JDG should have been the ones in position with the better power spikes right now to force this Dragon. And again, they're left in a situation where Top get it for free.
And you get the extra stats that are going to mean more and more towards the late game. Sure, it's only 4%, but an Infernal's an Infernal, and there is a Cloud Soul now available on Summoner's Rift. And Top Esports have both the Dragons, so sure, they're down 3,000 gold, but we set up what this team's about, and that timer has been set back yet again.
In Hysterics, I want to point out that, again, you would have gained nothing off of that top lane kill even if you had been able to pull it off. But again, TS had 2 teleports. There's no way it would have ever panned out. Why instead would you not take the free Drake when you had push advantage in the top lane and Zoom can just walk down himself?
Now we're at a point where you know Zoom doesn't have flash. The setup here for 369, now he can't kill him by himself. He needs a bit of help. But he can try and push Zoom off of the wave, get a bit of that CS, and that Youmuu's Jace get closer towards the 2-3 item mark that can just punish some of this back line.
Still, I actually do like this from JDG, knowing, hey, we can just take the Rift Herald.
Okay.
Even though he does have first item, 369, isn't going to be able to do much in this setup. Ooh,
what do you think about this? Because I could see it. Casa are in position to try and get Loken and Lumao while Herald...
They're going to commit now, yep. They're doomed.
Okay, doomed. I like the word. Glacial Fish is going to come out. Loken flashes away here. Two-man ulti. Explosive cast. Kind of whiffed there. He comes in with a body slam, though, to redeem Casa. Is he dead? Yes, he is. As in comes Zoom yet again with a dominance, but versus 5. Kind of a bit inty there. Top Esports, group up, complete their transaction, and take the turret alongside with it.
And JDG are the ones who commit to taking the Rift Herald. They should know that TS have full control of the bot side. Still gonna pick up 2 turrets, but makes you question, why did Zoom have to TP in this game? Just accept the fact that Loken and Luma are gonna go down. Even Karsa, not the best cast, but still, TS are able to pick up the kills. They are able to get the turret. And again, I feel like TS come out way ahead on that trade.
They really do. Let's have a look again, because it looked pretty...
Well, again, JDG are the ones taking the Herald. They don't see TS on the map. They just invaded their topside jungle. You know Karsa and Knight are bot. You don't need to be here. And even if, regardless, even if you reacted too late, Zoom shouldn't be TPing here. Great play coming out from Top Esports to recognize this mistake. But still, JDG were able to answer with 2 turrets. But overall, not what you want to see from JDG.
Top Esports got 1.5. You're right, though. We'll harp on that a little bit later, because we'll see what the, I guess, trade-off is at this point. It was a 3k gold lead by JDG, now only 1,500. Loken and Lumao return to the bottom lane, but 369 ready to match, and we know what the wave clear of a Jace looks like, so hard to get against the turret. While Top Esports have other ideas towards the top side of the map. Jackie Love now rotating and swapping line.
Yeah, but right now we actually don't have Kanavi anywhere on the map, so JDG can't do anything bot side. And going back to what you said about TS top, they should just be able to zone Zoom off the turret and pick that one up for free.
Yeah.
And, you know, over this past few minutes, it might sound like we've been very harsh to JDG, but I came in here today with a 3-0 JDG prediction. We called JDG the smartest team in LPL.
They 3-0 at FPX, the current world champions. Now, we'll see what they can do towards Top Esports, because they found Castle in 369. Yoma's to get out a great pillar placement, but slowed on down by the barrel roll. Loken going to be sitting in this bottom side meanwhile, though, so that is a better trade for JDG, getting this in a turret.
Yeah, I mean, now it's TS, the ones left behind. JDG doing such a good job at controlling 2 objectives, and it feels like 1 second we have to kind of talk about the mistakes by the team, but the next second it's like, oh, hey, now they're making a good play. Oh, just constant action. Hysterics.
But that's the back and forth nature within the series, right? Even those little microtransactions that we've seen between the 2 teams, where one moment it looks great, one moment it looks horrible, right? We see Casa miss the explosive cast, but then come in with a really nice body slam in the bottom lane. Stuff like that has pushed us in different directions here in this series already.
I was going to say, we've seen it every game now, right? We've seen, oh, great early games, ooh, questionable Barons, ooh, good team fight, ooh, bad pick, and it's been very back and forth, but now we're at a point where gold is just about even, right? We're 2k ahead on the side of JDG, but TS do have the Corki, they do have the Aphelios, and they are the ones starting to put JDG on a timer for Cloud Soul, but again, those individual Cloud Drakes are going to be a lot more impactful than the actual Soul itself.
Yeah, the 10%, right? If JDG can pick them up, that's 40% towards the ultimates of the things like the Emperor's Divide, the Dominant, and the Yumi, yeah. Isn't that just gorgeous? Well, we'll see, because JDG right now are setting up towards that bottom side. And Lyric, we're getting to the point where JDG, as you mentioned, we're going to see more of that front to back, the potential of engage from someone like Yagao, especially around this objective.
It's going to have to be engaged from someone like Yagao or Zoom, again, finding some kind of flank. And if TS just play very patiently, it's going to be very hard for JDG to get on top of them. Right so again, I want to see TS take this one slow.
Okay. I was going to say, right now, it does feel like they're being very patient. Chocho's the only one who's kind of pushing above the brush line. As Top Esports are backing away, JDG hold priority in the river, but they're taking a different route in. Remember the poke from 369. Crucial, doesn't land though, and JDG start the dragon. Top Esports, there you go, bit of patience for you.
Yep, they weren't able to get any sort of setup, weren't able to lay down any poke that they would have liked, so saying, hey, guess what, we don't really need this dragon. But we've actually seen this before, where JDG gives up the first 2 Drakes and then stacks for it. It actually happened, I think, in 2 games against FPX, Game 1 and Game 3, if I remember correctly. So JDG love this situation. Of course, being able to continuously stack up those clouds is just going to feel so good.
Oh yeah, first 10% online here. What do we got next, Lyric? What would you like to look towards? Because we've got a Baron up in 10 seconds. And actually, to be fair, it doesn't matter the composition. We have seen early Barons here in this series so far.
Yeah, but I don't want to see any early... Okay, as a viewer, I want to see early Barons. I want to see those kinds of shenanigans.
Like the
but as maybe an analyst, maybe as a former coach, I want to see these teams take it a bit slower. I want to see Karsa playing with this mid lane and hovering for a Zoom, which, again, you pick this press the attack Renekton. It is your theoretical strong side. Yagao has the TP. And for the side of TS, you feel fine just answering waves, and again, still getting a few more items under your belt. Corki is going to hit that power spike soon. He doesn't have the Triforce, but still doesn't have that mirror mana.
At 20 minutes, I mean, you'd have to think it's any moment now, right? We've gone long enough without seeing that upgraded. With those 2 items with lethal tempo, again, to reiterate how powerful that is in fights with the Aphelios beside you. That double 80 carry is going to be quite massive. And at this point, you can see now positioning around the Baron. Just waiting for that to upgrade. I'll let you know when, Lyric.
And
bit up and down.
For JDG, with the fact that you don't have any reliable engage, it's going to be a lot more about picking people off either in transition or when you're aggressively pushing for vision, you know, pushing out the mid lane, transition to top. And it's like, oh, this person's here, they're walking into our vision, but no neutral objectives that either team should fight for. We've seen it the first 2 games that these teams are going for early Barons, so maybe it'll happen again.
You cast this region. This is your first split with us. But you know what the LPL is all about. Say it back to me. What is it?
Endless bloodshed?
Yes! Perfect. You belong here, sir. You definitely belong here. That's what it's all about, testing the limits. Many people have said over the course of this split. And when we've had 7 weeks straight, or 6 weeks, I should say, straight, that's all it's been. Constant bloodshed and testing the limits here in the LPL. Now, the limits aren't being tested right now. We've gotten to a slower pace, as mentioned before. With only 6 kills at 22 minutes, but JDG are on the prowl. Maiev comes in with a bit of a blink, and JDG are playing between vision here, looking to try and blink on someone else.
Doing exactly what we had just set out for them, right? Pushing in that mid lane, walking aggressively into the enemy jungle, hoping to find some sort of pick, but TS are respecting it. They know, hey, again, nothing we need to be on the map for. I would say JDG have a bit more Baron threat this time around because they do have the Azir. But still, as long as you have some tools to check, whether it's a Scrying Orb, which we can't see right now because the Colonel's on our screen, TS feel fine.
Don't be afraid of Robo Colonel, it's okay. Well, that threat definitely there, but Yagao spotted out clearing a ward. Karsa not going to commit. He thinks that Yagao's going to be disappearing. Teleport used by Knight, who has package.
That respect from top esports, because they don't have vision, right? They don't know if he's just trying to bait, but it was Yagao actually just making a mistake, so we see top esports having a lot of patience.
Comes back to, yes, the key word patience that you mentioned earlier in the game, especially with this composition. Now working towards the mid lane after seeing Yagao, after pushing him away. There's a lot of wave clear still here from Yagao, but Knight in the flanking position.
But it's not about flanks or wave clear right now, Hysterics. If you're TS, you just poke them out, right? Oh, let them clear the wave. We're still going to sit here in front of you. We're still going to throw out these rockets and these shot blasts. What are you going to do, JDG?
Oh, Yagao gets cancelled with his back. You couldn't have said it better. Loken and Zoom still sticking around. Knight is such a nuisance. He definitely does. Package just going to go back into wave. A nice crit there as Yagao joins back in. I think he got poked out again.
Yes, he did, but still, TS not able to do anything. They were able to, right, get a bit of turret damage down. They did force JDG there, so they weren't able to pressure in a side lane with Zoom. And now Dragon's up in 40 seconds. Both teams are going to reset. It's going to be a fight for this vision. It's really going to be about which team can get there first, because, again, if TS get there first, it's going to be really hard for JDG to walk in through all this poke. They have no set engage. And if JDG do stay on the map, we do see Zoom pushing out, so they should theoretically have vision control. It's going to be all on 369 and Knight, again, laying down these rockets and these shock blasts.
I was going to say, at least for JDG, they'd be happy that there's no package for Knight for this fight towards the Dragon that was just used and seen before. It is JDG, as you mentioned, who get the position advantage, but Top Esports man-force their way in. You can see Knight has 2 items with the Mirror Mana, now complete. 2 items here with the Renekton Hurricane in the bottom lane versus the Infinity Edge Essence for Loken. So we've got 2 items realistically across the board. This is a big moment here, especially for JDG.
But moving over real quick, one thing I liked about what Top Esports just did is we saw them question mark pinging their jungle. They did set up and clear a lot of vision, making sure that Zoom can't flank.
Yep.
And again, now everything's up to JDG. Can they get off either a good bullet time, or can Yagao make some kind of crazy stream of shuffle?
369 definitely needs to make his way in there. That's what I know. The poke comes through onto Loken and Zoom, and that's quite a bit. Dragon resets over to 3K. Remember, this will set up Salt Point for top Esports, and they're just hitting it away. Caster there. Explosive cast onto Kanavi, and they can't find 369. The Yumi to get the slow down, but that is now Soul coming up next. And top Esports played that really cleverly.
It was really good, but also got a little questionable at the end why 369 was kind of in a flanking position where if JDG turned, that opens up the game, but still, top Esports doing a great job picking up the Dragon, playing it slow.
I guess it's not questionable because it didn't happen,
Exactly,
right?
but
yeah.
I mean, actually, I don't agree. Just because it didn't happen doesn't make it not questionable.
Okay, all right. Well, I'll move past it anyway because at the end of the day, there's more fighting to be had. Kanavi going around with Lumao attached, but JDG, they're positioning a bit split here. A great pillar, but top Esports now getting poked out by Yagao. Here comes the Lost Chapter on top of Chocho. The door doesn't stay up for very, very long. As Knight comes in for the re-engage, it's only pokes to be coming through, and top Esports make it out alive.
I just want to say, I don't know why I'm oohing. They found an engage onto Chocho, easily able to just jump away. Didn't even have to blow his flash, but I like that JDG are trying to find picks any way they can. Again, this is really all their comp can do at this point in time is they were able to turn mid first because they weren't the team that got Dragon. They did get into TS's topside jungle, set up vision, and then it's about, hey, waiting for one of them to step in here. They did that, weren't able to secure the pick, and now map's going to reset, Hysterics.
But going forward, we see the way JDG, as you mentioned, are playing towards picks. How does this game progress from here for a team like JDG? What do you expect to see in the next 5-10 minutes as we get towards this ultimate Baron play, the Dragon Soul up in 3 minutes as well?
Well, you're asking how it progresses, and again, we only have six kills at an almost 30-minute game. We're not going to see a lot of proactivity when JDG's comp doesn't really open them to making any sort of proactive plays. Sure, what we want to see is them turn towards the mid lane first, push out that wave, and then try to aggressively invade TS's jungle and make them think, hey, we're doing Baron, we have a 0+80 carry, come into us. But again, if TS just say, hey, we're not going to walk in your jungle, we're going to wait for the next dragon, realistically, what can JDG do?
Sir, if something happens with the solo kill, which is going to be denied by the teleport on the opposite side of Summoner's Rift. Now looking towards Kanavi, remember, no solo lanes are here. TP going to be used by the side of 369. Kanavi getting low. Subjugate helps. Chocho flashing away with the door. He does go down as 369. Can't execute as well. This is turned around against top Esports. Caster locked in a corner on the wrong side of Summoner's Rift, and that guy's just had his last call. Kick him out of the bar. The slow comes in with Loken about to serve the toxic drink. And Caster has nowhere to go. He tries to outplay that one, but JDG just send it right against them.
Finding exactly what they need. Top Esports, a poke comp, not able to poke. We actually didn't see how JDG got on top of them, but it doesn't matter how they were able to do it, and now they can start forcing the Baron because there is no smite up for the side of TES.
I will say though, Moonlight Vigil, Infernum, Knight has package. JDG, it's a numbers advantage, but top Esports, individual players. But the ult misses from Jackie Love. The pillar comes through. Knight comes in, lines it up, and kills Zoom. Jackie Love with Severum has a bit of healing. Kanavi slowed by the package again. Every single time I cast this champion, he pops off.
What is happening right now? Oh my god, Jackie Love and Knight showing up so clutch, and this is what finals are built on. They're not built on who's the smarter team, they're built on clutch star performances.
Just like he did in Invictus Gaming, and just like Knight's been doing all across top Esports, they clutch it out as we look at this once again.
This is actually insane. They are looking for a 2v5 right now. And again, they back off when Knight goes for this package right here. It's like, what are you doing, man? Flashes out. Woo! The burn coming in is slightly buffed this patch, but then Jackie Love playing so well on the back of this fight. Things just looking great for TES.
Oh, man. Knight now huge after that one as well. Picked up a rapid fire cannon and is close towards Infinity Edge. And that's right, top Esports, come over here, have a beer. You deserve it after that. And this game, after JDG found that miracle, that window towards the mid lane, top Esports take it right back, and now they have Baron. You know what, Kanavi? Watch out. Pillar's going to come on down, maybe not. If Zoom can come in as the Lost Chapter finds its mark as well, maybe there's something. Caster on the back as well to support them. Zoom is spotted out, and the poke comes through and realigns. against JDG. So JackieLove says, okay, I'll move to the bottom lane. Look at the size of this minion wave.
Not even this minion wave. Look top as well. TS have the top wave pushing. The mid lane was pushing. They're doing such a great job of utilizing the whole map. They're going to be able to push this in, and Karso or any member of TS can just go look to take Dragon for free if they so want. But you're right. When you have this minion wave, why look for Dragon when you can just siege down this turret?
And especially when you keep saying the words poke comp, I now see it. Locked on down is Yagao, and gone is Yagao. Top Esports are running in, and with a death timer like that, and a 4 versus 5, I don't know what's next.
What's next is they just keep going. They have the poke, they have the siege, they have the Baron minions. Why stop now?
Bullet time's gonna come through, Interrupted gets half of the minion wave, but locked on down, Aphelios does it again, Kanavi locked as well, and Knight kills him. Top Esports say go, it's Brain versus Brawn, and the Brawn says sit down kids, back to the library. Loken at the Nexus, rather the Fountain will die, and Top Esports take us to match point.
And that was absolutely insane coming out from TS. JackieLove and Knight, what are you doing? That was just disgusting to see, but